Has been heavily criticised tonight for paying more than £1 million in redundancy and consultancy fees to 7 senior staff who were re-employed after being given generous severance packages. The public spending watchdog has refused to sign off the accounts of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, which is already in a state of turmoil over the reappointment of Trevor Phillips as its chairman. Channel 4 News has spoken to one of the 3 commissioners who resigned in the past 3 days. Another is expected to go in the next few days. James Blake has this report.
2 years ago, under the leadership of Trevor Phillips, the Equality and Human Rights Commission was born by merging the Commission for Racial Equality, where Mr Phillips had been chairman, with disability rights and equal opportunities. Very soon it expanded into a giant quango, taking in poverty, age discrimination, gay rights, faith groups and human rights in the workplace. It has an overall budget of £70 million. But now this Human Rights Commission seems to be falling apart. 3 senior commissioners have just resigned, including Sir Bert Massey, who looked after disability rights. His resignation letter to Harriet Harman, the Equality Minister, said Trevor Phillips has damaged the reputation of the Commission.
If you look around the commissioners we started with, they're an extraordinarily able bunch of people. He had a superb group to work with, and he's alienated them. That takes some doing. On the other hand, he has got some excellent staff. There are some very good people working for the Commission, and they are not being allowed to achieve what they could achieve because of the disruption at the top.
5 commissioners have now resigned since April, and another is expected within days. On top of all that, today the financial management at the Commission has been severely criticised. The report for the National Audit Office said the Commission's accounts were unacceptable. It focuses on 7 senior staff members, all close to Trevor Phillips, who together receive redundancy payments of over £620,000. Then, against the rules, they were all taken back and given over £320,000 in consultancy fees, a total of nearly £1 million in public money.
Well, I think the blame starts with the government, and clearly then the management of the Equalities Commission have also got questions to answer. But I think it is an extraordinary state of affairs, which we've seen in other parts of the public sector. We're in a rush to introduce changes. People don't think about the consequences far enough in advance, and we're then left with a ludicrous situation where people who've taken redundancy payments to leave are re-engaged as consultants at very, very high cost to the taxpayer. That cannot be a good use of taxpayers' money, and I think it is a corporate failure of government and of senior management.
Trevor Phillips wasn't at the Commission's offices today to respond to these claims. He's on holiday in Europe. But he refused all interviews last week too, when the Commission published its 3-year strategy. What surprised many is that the government gave Trevor Phillips another 3-year term here at the Commission just days before this critical NAO report. Why did it do that? Why not wait? Well, the government department won't say, and Harriet Harman is not available for interview today. But it was that decision that led to a number of high-profile resignations in the past 2 days. Tonight, Harriet Harman backed Trevor Phillips in a statement which says these issues date back to 2007 when the Commission was first set up, but it is now on a much stronger footing. Yet Channel 4 News has learned from a senior member of the Commission that the government was told about the financial irregularities with consultants at the time and took no action. Now, as several of the resigned commissioners make clear, the reputation and future of the Commission is at stake.
That report from James Blake. Well, we did try to talk to Trevor Phillips when the Equality Commission published its 3-year plan last week, but he wasn't available. We asked again tonight, and he still wasn't available. So I spoke to Neil Kingham, the Commission's interim Director General, and asked him why Trevor Phillips wasn't around, given that they must have known when the NAO's report was due to be published.
Actually, we only found out last week that the National Audit Office report would be published today. It's laid before Parliament by the government, and Trevor had a long arranged private holiday, so that's why he's not here.
We have a very critical report which calls into question the judgment of Trevor Phillips. He's not here to defend himself, but it's very clear that there are allegations here to be answered.
With respect, the report is critical of the Commission. It's not critical of the chairman. It says that the Commission did not follow the right procedures, and we've accepted that that's the case. But it also makes the point that when the Commission started its work, it did so in difficult circumstances, and that it was working to a very tight timescale.
The question obviously comes down to Trevor Phillips, because you've managed in the extraordinarily short space of time that the Commission has been in existence to lose no fewer than 5 commissioners, and there's another one telling us that he's likely to resign in the next few days. This is a very poor show, isn't it?
I do regret that the commissioners who've resigned have chosen to do so. We're very grateful to them for the contribution they've made to the Commission, and we hope to carry on working with them in the future.
Well, one of the contributions they've made is indeed to link Trevor Phillips with some of these decisions.
They are said to have been critical of Trevor. There are lots of people in the equality world with very strong views, as these had. We still have several excellent commissioners. We've just launched a new 3-year strategy. We have a very exciting agenda to take forward in promoting equality and human rights. We've got 2 major reports coming out in the next few weeks on the construction industry and on the financial services sector. And I think it's really important that the Commission should be judged by what it does, not by things which happened 2 years ago.
Well, we're bound tonight to look at what it does in terms of its money and its management. And it is very clear from what, for example, Sir Bert Massey, who has resigned as Disability Commissioner, says that Trevor Phillips has an extremely weak management record. His management has been, quote, poor.
I've seen what Bert said. As I said, we still have a number of excellent commissioners who are keen to take the work of the Commission
So he wasn't
forward.
an excellent commissioner?
He made a very substantial contribution to the Commission, and I'm grateful to the work that he did. But I do think you should look at what the Commission has achieved. You said that that wasn't the business of this programme, but we've taken over 300 court cases which have made a real difference to the lives of millions of people, to mothers who need to care for disabled children, to the relatives of soldiers who died in Iraq, where the Ministry of Defence didn't provide them with proper protection. Actually, judging the Commission by what it's done in its first 2 years is a really important part of what we should be doing now.
The difficulty is that there were already bodies looking after some of these people beforehand. They did a very good job too. This is a new body which does all of these jobs that many other bodies did, and the question now is whether it's actually doing a good job, because when all is said and done, you've lost 5 of your 16 commissioners, and all of them critical of the leadership. And the leadership has been renewed.
I've said that I regret that the commissioners have resigned, and that I'm grateful for their contribution. It's the government who's reappointed Trevor. It's partly in reflection of the fact that the Commission has done a good job. Yes, of course, the previous commissions did a good job too, but this Commission should be judged by what we've achieved.
That was the Interim Director General of the Equality Commission, Neil Kingham. Another British soldier.